Alright, next up, two copies of Mr. Lazy, the original 70s version and the 2000s reprint. Here's the original copy. Alright, and here's the 2000s reprint. Okay. Next up, Mr. Funny. Next, Mr. Stingy, which is original titled as Mr. Mean from the 70s. Next up, Mr. Chatterbox. Mr. Fussy. By the way, this was the first appearance of Mr. Clumsy before his own book release in 1978. Yeah. Alright, next up, Mr. Bounce. Next up, Mr. Muddle. Next, Mr. Dizzy. Next up, Mr. Impossible. From 1976, Mr. Strong. By the way, he was first appeared in the Big Mr. book from 1974, but then 2 years later, it got the official release of the book. So yeah. Alright, now for the 1978 releases. Mr. Grumpy. Next, Mr. Clumsy. This is the book of itself after Mr. Fussy was released in 1976. Alright. Anyway, moving on. Mr. Quiet. Mr. Rush. Alright, next up, I have two copies of Mr. Tall. I have the 80s reprint and the 2000s reprint. Here's the original release. And this is like I said, this is the 80s reprint, as you can tell by this. And this. The 1982 reprint, and it was fourth printing on May 1987. Right here. Yep. Now here's the 2000s reprint. Right. Next up, Mr. Worry. Mr. Nonsense. Mr. Wrong. 2 copies of Mr. Skinny. The original 1978 version and the 2000s reprint. Here's the original copy from 1978. And here's the 2000s reprint. Yep. Mr. Mischief. Mr. Clever. Mr. Busy. Two copies of Mr. Slow. 1978 as well. 1978 version and the 2000s reprint. Here's the original vintage version from 1978. And this was the very last Mr. Man vintage book to be ever made in the 1970s. And this is actually a 1979 reprint because of the information disc. Yep. Now here's the 2000s reprint. Yep. Alright, next up, we're on to the 1990 releases. Mr. Brave. Mr. Grumple. By the way, Mr. Brave, Mr. Grumple, Mr. Perfect, and Mr. Cheerful were originally released in France. Mr. Perfect. Mr. Cheerful. Now the next book is extremely rare, and it's from 2001. Mr. Cheeky. Limited edition, a brand new Mr. Man character. Celebrate 30 years. Yep, this book is extremely rare. Even have the signature from Adam Hargreaves, which is really cool. It's signed in 2002. It's the drawing. Inspired by Gemma Allman. Who he is. And the story. Yep. Now, 3 of them are from 2003. Mr. Cool. Mr. Rude. Mr. Good. From 2010, Mr. Nobody. This was originally released in 1985. From 2014, Mr. Mustache. Includes a press out mustache. Unfortunately, it got lost, but that's alright. I can deal with it, since I had this long time ago. back in 2016. It says Movember. Yeah. Mr. Marvelous from 2016. Mr. Adventure, another one from 2016. And once again, the background noise. Just ignore that. Yeah, like I said, ignore the background noises. Listen to me. Okay? And next one is from 2023, and it's the new book, Mr. Calm. This was originally published in 2021 in United Kingdom, but it hasn't released in Canada yet until 2023. So yeah. And by the way, it was the new book that I show you for this collection. So yep. Now here's the special books. This one is from 2006, Mr. Birthday. This was to celebrate Mr. Man's 35th anniversary. Yeah. From 2002, and it was republished in 2005, Mr. Christmas. This was originally released in 1984. Here's the characters right there. Yep. And finally, for this Mr. Man books, Mr. Man 12 Days of Christmas. Now, we're on to the bonus ones. The first one we have is My Dad and Me. This is from 2019, and it was originally published in 2017. From 2019, My Mom and Me. From 2020, My Brother and Me. Also from 2020, My Sister and Me. From 2021, My Teacher and Me, originally published in 2019. Now the next one is from 2019, and it's Back to School with Mr. Man Loomis. Includes stickers. Unfortunately, one of them I used already, but that's okay. It got lost. No matters. Alright, the next one is from 2021. It's the 50th anniversary edition of Mr. Happy. Here's this. And the inside. Alright, let me put everything back. Here we go. And finally, the audio CD. And it's the Mr. Man Collection. Read by Jim Dale. This is from 2015. Great stories. Yep. Here's the disc. Right. Put everything back. Alright, everyone. That's it. That is my Mr. Man Books collection for the 2023 edition. So, yep. Well, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. This is Mr. Man Little Miss and Friends Show, signing out.